Hello and welcome everybody. It's Sunday, which means it's time for the final round of China for Misfits Racing League Formula 1 action. Obviously, we are here with the APAC division, and joining me as always is Seb. Seb, how are you doing today, sir?
Happy to be here, happy to be here. How are you? Yourself, Unicorn?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. We're just getting ourselves all readied up. Thank you, Neon, for informing us of the lobby change, but everything getting adjusted. But China so far this week has been fairly dramatic, and we'll just take a quick look at that track map. It's the famous Shanghai Circuit, 16 turns, 3.3 miles, and there is that huge back straight where that overtaking spot down into turn 14 is incredible. A bit like the hairpin we saw last week at Vietnam. But yeah, the track has provided a lot of drama, a lot of tyre strategy changes, and we'll have to see how everything plays out into the race today. But Seb, why don't you take us through the standings and what things have looked like in the first few rounds of the season so far for these guys?
So far, Mika started strong, leading the championship by 38 points. He's at 68 points at the moment. 3 podiums, 2 wins. That's a great start for him. Panda, a consistent driver so far. He's really stood out with his consistency, getting the points week in and week out. He sits in second, obviously 38 points, as I said before, behind Mikhail. Then you have the two Mercedes of Ben the Bear and Captain of Gold sharing third and fourth, both on 25 points, with the two Red Bulls behind him, PDR and Remco Van Putten on 22 and 21 points. Then you have the McLaren of Cello in seventh, Trin in the Alfa Romeo, Simdogger in the Renault, Emzo in the other McLaren in 10th on 8 points, Igor in the other Alfa Romeo teaming up with Trin on 6 points, Angel with 5 with the Racing Point, and Stars with 4 in the AlphaTauri, the last of the point scorers so far this season of our full-time drivers. Shrimp, Yukio, Luckman, combined YouTuber, Psycho with a K, and the Brown Guy have all yet to score points for their respective teams. Meanwhile, for the Constructors' Championship, AlphaTauri lead with 84 points, followed closely behind by Mercedes, trailing by 34 points, but a strong combination of Captain of Gold and Ben the Bear should keep them in the hunt. Red Bull in third, Williams in fourth, McLaren in fifth, Alfa Romeo sixth, Ferrari seventh. The Pirates, or the reserves, as for those who don't know, have 14 points, edging out Renault, Racing Point, and Haas. Haas, the only team to score points this season.
Yeah, indeed. It's been an interesting start. Obviously, like you said, Ben the Bear over at Mercedes, he's had some strong drives, but only finished in one race. And, well, in that race, he did win. And that was last week, if memory serves, at Vietnam. Very, very strong drive from him, but he's had a few problems, in those opening couple of rounds. So whether we see him perform here this evening, whether he can get, an issue-free race like he did last week, where he just rocketed off the line and just won from pole, or if we see, that bad luck return from those earlier rounds.
Well, you hope you don't want to see any bad luck, don't you? You want these guys performing at their best and fighting each other wheel to wheel. Ben the Bear is the best driver in the league, if you look at it objectively. Champion last year, and he proved it last round, coming back after those tough 2 first rounds, taking out that pole, taking out that race win in a convincing manner.
Yeah, he is certainly a fast driver, but so far everything seems to be going Mikhail's way. 2 wins, 3 podiums out of the first 3 rounds, and, well, an Australian driver in this, home division, as it is for most of these drivers. Took the season opener at his home Grand Prix, and he hasn't really looked back since. 68 points on the board. He's 38 points clear of Panda, his closest rival. So, very, very impressive start to the season from him, as we just wait for a few more drivers to find their way into the lobby. And
yeah, I think Panda's been a big surprise in there, hasn't he? He's just been very consistent. He's got those points, I think you'd expect Ben the Bear to be taking that P2 away from him at the end of this race, but you never know. Panda, he's just been getting those points, like I said before, and it's winding him up in P2.
Yeah, exactly. Only 1 podium, no wins for him in that Williams, but consistency pays off, and Ben the Bear, he's got that win, but he hasn't scored points in the other races he's been in, so no opportunity for him to climb higher up. He's got all those 25 points from one race, whereas Panda, he's scored 30 points over the course of the first 3, so You know, consistency really paying off there. And you got to say, it's looking good for him. Captain of Gold as well in that Mercedes. He's been performing pretty strongly. PTR as well. No podiums again for the Red Bull driver, but some strong drives have netted him 22 points. And while the Red Bull squad, they didn't really work out for them in Bahrain, where, you know, Remco got a puncture in that last few laps, and I don't want to repeat that again, but they definitely look like a challenge for the constructors here, with Mercedes ahead, Red Bull as well, and right now AlphaTauri's constructors standings, well, Mick really putting in a huge shift at the top there.
Yeah, indeed. I know Stars wouldn't be happy with his performance. P13 in the championship, only 4 points. I know he definitely wouldn't be happy with that. He had some pace in Vietnam, mind you, but that kind of just faded away. A couple of mistakes put him down the order, and that just put him in a bad mindset. And he talked to him after the race. He didn't sound like he was too confident about how the race panned out.
Yeah, and I think it's been on a couple more drivers here. I think we've a few minutes after the whistle, but I think we've just about got everyone in. As drivers look like they are readying up, and we're ready to get underway here at China for the last F1 race. Obviously, there will be F2 later this evening, but as for the, you know, tiered and regional divisions, this is the last race of the week, as always, before we head on over into the new week on a Tuesday. And, well, next week, Zandvoort, a very unique circuit with that banked final curbs, and, well, it's the second and only other new circuit to the calendar alongside Vietnam in this game. But 15 seconds on the clock, and we will be loading into the lobby, and there goes the countdown clock.
After Zandvoort, we got Spain, which can provide some good racing with that big main straight, and then you got Monaco. That's going to be an interesting watch to see how clean people can be there. But that's the outlook for the next 3 races. Very keen to see what pans out for China. Watching the other races, watching the highlights, it's just very evident that you get a nice big slingshot off turn 13, and then this big DRS straight on the back straight down to turn 14, the heavy braking zone hairpin. See a lot of overtakes, as you mentioned before. But we have seen a lot of incidents through turn 16 and turn 1 when we see 2 cars go wide and get a bit of squeeze going on. Hard to follow cars and race cars through those 2 corners, but it can be done sometimes. But you can expect incidents there.
Yeah, there's a couple of places where if you're brave enough, you can get a move done, but there's so many corners that just continually tighten around this track that you go up the inside and then you can just find your nose in the wrong place in relation to someone else's car.
Yeah, exactly. Turn 7, and I believe America's race was a great example of this. The Red Bull and I believe a Racing Point were fighting it out through turn 7, and the Red Bull just understeered into the Racing Point, I believe, and spun himself around. You can get really good battles here, though. Surprisingly, with the way the track's built, you wouldn't think so, but in real life you may not get them. In the game you do, though. From turn 13 all the way to turn 6, at the end of Sector 1, start of Sector 2, you can get some really good battles going on with those 2 DRS straights. You get a lot of side-by-side action. But drivers have to be careful, as I've mentioned before, just to give each other enough space and not take each other out.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got the weather report dry here, so not going to be like some of the races we've seen where we've had a wet qualifying going to a dry race. We've had that a couple of times this week, actually. Squid, who's already had a race around here this week where he picked up P2 in Tier 3, reserving for the Williams squad right now, has just let past Codders. Again, another reserve for his team, and he's in the Haas, and he's absolutely roaring around the track trying to get the first lap time set. But yeah, very, very good stuff to see these teammates reserving in these other divisions. Obviously, Squid, like I said, Tier 3, Codders Tier 2, as he makes his way through this tough sort of Double right-hander, 12 through into 13, and you really have to be careful about where you put the power down here, but go for a more detailed lap when he starts his flyer, which will be the first flying lap of the session.
Turn 13 is an odd one. You've got to decide whether you want to take that wider line or that like tighter line. It's really hard to pick, and you gotta just figure that out for yourself with how the tires are, how much fuel you have in the car, how you're driving, how much confidence you have, how much rhythm you have as well. Qualifying's all about building rhythm and building up to that big final lap. But we'll see how these guys go.
Yeah, here goes Cotters then down towards turn 1 and then through turn 2, and just kind of keep it as tight to that right hand side as possible before hopping into the tight left hander of turn 3. A very tricky opening section, especially on lap 1. We've got all these cars flying through here side by side, then out of turn 4 through the sort of slight right hander of turn 5 and then into turn 6. Another place where if you're brave enough you can see it overtake, but Cotters, you're not going to be overtaking with a slide like that straight into the runoff area, and well, Squid in that Williams will be coming again back for the first flying lap of the session. But Cotters, very, very unfortunate for him in that Haas. That's not how he wanted to start his sort of APAC reserve debut.
Yeah, exactly. That's a confidence killer right there, but he's lucky that's the first run and not maybe the second or third run. That's not going to kill any momentum or rhythm you have when you're driving these cars. Squid, geez, gets a bit wide on the exit of turn 10. I thought he would nearly invalidate his lap there, but keeps it just within the track limits. Next turns 10, 11 and 12 quite nicely. Let's see how he takes turn 13. Tighter line than usual, but he keeps it nice and steady in the middle of the track. Floors it down the straight, but doesn't from the looks of it. His ERS is off. It looks like he's just going to get a lap in here.
Yeah, ERS off is definitely not an outlap because we've already seen him do that.
Yeah, hold on a second. I think Peter's
PTR crash, yeah.
Yeah.
Off
and
through
the
sector
exit of turn 7. Yeah, it started turn 8. That's interesting. You do need really over-series setups around here to go fast, and Peter he has aggressive setups. He is an aggressive driver himself, and I wonder if he's just pushing too hard in his first lap, not getting that banker, and he's sent it around on the exit of 7 and into the left-hand side wall on the entry of 8.
Well, we're getting those first few lap times in. Trin at 130.6. Squid, like you said, no ERS, so didn't look like... Maybe made a mistake in that opening section, reserved the ERS so he can go around again. He's at a 132.6. Looks like the racing point of Angel. He's going to go second at 131.4 on the mediums. Here comes Matt, who's just invalidated around that final corner, and I believe the eccentric behind him did a similar thing.
As a driver, you hate that when you do that. Last corner, just got to get through it, and you just invalidate it, and all that work goes to waste. But, like I said before, it's fairly early in the session. There's T-Mac's done a 31.2 at tossed him in the third position of the 5 lap times that have been put up so far.
A lot of invalidations coming out. Eagle's just gone fastest at 130.3, but Panda in the Williams, he's invalidated his first attempt, and well, thankfully for him, he didn't do it through that final corner, because not only is it going to invalidate your current lap, but it invalidates your second lap as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Combined YouTuber.
To be honest, turn 16, the last corner, is the only real corner you see people invalidating. Or maybe you see people invalidating on the exit of turn 10, asking too much of the car, getting a bit of understeer, but other than that, you don't really see it. It's hard to extend around here, but apart from turn 16, because you've got to really push the limits, and it's a hard corner to kind of spot. Going over a crest, to ride a lot of the curbs in order to gain a lot of time. We have Angel, as I said before, in the medium tyres. Remco combined Ben the Bear also on medium tyres, looking like they're just going to put in bangers here, get those tyres out the way, save a pair of, or a set of softs, I should say.
Yeah, the mediums, starting on the mediums can work out here. We've seen that a couple of times so far this week, given how quickly the softs die here around China.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Go pretty fast. It takes about 5 laps to just fall off that cliff. You lose all your pace, lose all the grip. But you can make it pay off. You can make it pay off. You know, you don't win any points in qualifying, but it does help a lot for the race. Grid position is a lot here. Yeah, line, cross the line. 31.1. That's a decent time for mediums, but not
mediums.
amazing.
Qualifying, Ben the Bear, someone who sometimes just likes to put a lot of laps in on a medium compound and then switch the salsa right at the end, make it sort of one-shot qualifying for himself, but I wonder whether we'll see him today actually qualify on the medium, stay on it and go for that medium to hard one stop in the race. And it gives you a lot of flexibility as well if there is a safety car. We haven't seen any lap 1 safety cars, I want to say, so far, but we have seen some early safety cars in those first 10 laps. Ben, a 1:29.9 on mediums.
That's ridiculous, Unicorn. That is something else.
What a time for the Mercedes driver. That is going to send a big warning towards everyone else. Remco has dropped his lap, and well, I wonder whether he's just seen the time that someone else posted on mediums and thought, you know what, I'll come in for the salt. I have no chance. As Yukio is having some really weird connection problems, we'll hop off of him and go to our current championship leader in Mikau, who's flying out on some softs.
I'm not sure how you're supposed to respond to that. I mean, you can obviously beat that time on softs. It's beatable, but it's just the fact that it's on mediums. It's going to be in Trent and Igor. There's 2 alphas on their softs by 4/10 and 7/10 respectively. And he's done it very comfortably as well as Mikau sets a purple sector 2. Looks like he might get a... Yukio might be a bit in his way here, but I think it's all fine. Run down to turn 14 can be... This can make your lap right here. You gotta take a lot of that inside curb and spot your braking point very well. Just before that start of the curb, get the car turned in second gear. He's missed the apex by a fair bit, but I don't think I'll mind that. Just on the throttle rather well. At the corner, get it at 7th gear, drop it down to 1 up. He's bailed. He's just bailed out of it. Alright then. We have to set a lap time and he's bailed on a lap. He should be able to get 2 more laps in though. But my god, Unicorn, that lap by Ben. Sheesh.
And Ben's not going around again like we sometimes see him do. Sometimes he just keeps lapping, but not going to be the case today. Enzo, he's invalidated and he might be coming in at the end of this lap. He's already failed to set a lap on his previous time. So I think the next person to go on a flyer will be Matt in the Ferrari, who has also invalidated already this session, but on a fresh set of softs, and we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, you just need to get a lap out the way at this moment. Yukio, Remco, Panda, Matt, Cotters, Entric, Shrimp, or Mikau, Enzo, and Neon all need to get that lap out the way, just so they can at least get something on the board.
Yeah, some people as well like starting in 11th place, and no one's set lap times outside of the top 7 right now, so plenty of opportunity to get a good time in on mediums, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of these guys just try and stick on them. You can see now, T-Max, Squid, Panda.
Yeah. Everyone's just switched over to the mediums. Mediums hard, looking like it's the way to go for everyone else. Ben the Bear in the pits has decided to flick over to the softs in case he wants to go out for another run later in the session. Let's see what Matt can do. Just swing that car over to the left for turn 8 and just hug the inside as much as possible through it. Get over to the right for turn 9 and just maybe kiss that apex on the inside of turn 9. Definitely right over that apex for turn 10 and go wide on the exit. Braking just at the start of it when that curb just gets a bit bigger on the outside. Put that inside curb. Avoid that inside one for turn 12 and it might just spin you out a bit on exit. And give it a bit of traction. Looks like a decent lap so far though, Unicorn.
Yeah, very, very clean, very, very tidy from the Ferrari, and he just needs to set one here just so that he's got, you know, that banker lap in. He invalidated the first one. He'll be being a little bit more cautious here as he locks up into the hairpin. A little bit late on the brakes, I think, there for the Ferrari, but still perfectly valid. Just needs to get through this last corner, and well, that's a huge car, and he spun it, and that's straight into the wall. The car is, well, it's still drivable. I think that front wing is going to be absolutely obliterated, but well, he took way too much of that inside corner there, and that's not what you want to see. And you can see that the right-hand side of that front wing is absolutely vanished into the wall.
Yeah, he looks like he lit it up on the inside apex, the inside curb, and that just unsettled the car. And the rear tires try to find grip, and he tried to ask them of grip, and he just didn't have it. So just sent the rear end around and into the left hand side while he goes into the gravel. Forward Panda, who is on a mediums run right now.
Cotters, he's about to cross the line. He's yet to set a time. It's on the soft as well. What can he do? It's third place at 1:30.466, so not too bad from the Haas Reserve.
It's a good banker right there. Sets himself up well. Stars is just doing the session, as you can see on your screen there, which I'm pretty sure means he'll be starting from the back of the grid.
Yeah, he was having some sort of connection issue. Whether he can get a qualifying lap in, it's sort of hit or miss whether that glitch strikes everyone here. But here goes T-Mac on the mediums. He was down through the first couple of sectors. Can he find improvement? He can't. So it's a 1:31.2 still for the Renault driver.
Meanwhile, Squid looks like he'll be at 31.2 as well. Oh, he's just 1,000 off T-Mac for P8. You just see from P7 to P8, that's separated by just over a tenth.
Yeah, Remco, he's someone who's been pretty strong this season. He's coming through the last couple of corners, yet to set a lap time right now on a valid medium run. And keeps it valid through the final corner. Where is he going to land himself? 5th place at 1:30.665. Again, pretty strong time for a medium runner. You've got to remember that Ben the Bear out there is a huge anomaly in this grid. The rest of these guys, very, very tight. You've got Neon, Remco and Trin all within like a tenth of each other, and then Igor and Cotters aren't too far away either. So, very, very interesting race we've got panning out. Mikau's back out, and he is on those mediums, and this is the final 5 minutes. So, track will be starting to get to its most optimum temperature, and Mikau will know that for sure. And here he comes in the AlphaTauri down into the final sector. It's another purple sector too.
Looks like he's just on an outlap at the moment. Maybe he made a mistake. I did see yellow flags. Maybe he was getting out of the way of the car, but it doesn't look like there's any cars in front of him on the track map. Oh, yeah. Oh, geez, Ben the Bear's got done a 28.5 on those softs. Talk about a league of your own. He is in another universe at the moment.
Well, the thing is about that, he's already put 3 laps into those softs, Seb, so when he starts this race, he's going to have about 2 laps left on them. So, I'm not quite sure his strategy is. Mikau's come back into the pits.
Yeah, I don't think he was happy with his run. I'm pretty sure last race, though, Ben the Bear did do 2 stops also from Vietnam. A lot of drivers opted for the 1 stop. He had the 2 stop comfortably over, I believe, Mikau, who was the next closest to him.
There's a lot of traffic coming into the pit lane right now. I don't know whether these guys all, got in the way of each other's laps, or if they're all just happen to be coming in at the same time. But either way, I think
when the Bears called into the pits, a lot of guys calling in the pits at the moment. Emzo's the only one who looks like he's out at the moment, but it looks like he's just finished a lap on those medium tyres.
It's eccentric, yeah, going around the final corner. 1:30.6.
Look how close P5, 6 and 7 are.
And at 1:30.6, 1:30.5 territory, very, very close, and they're all on those medium command tyres. Like, Cotter's ahead on the soft, so he'll probably want to improve just to separate himself just a little bit from the rest of these guys, but...
Well, just a note on that, Trin doesn't really, I just checked, Trin doesn't really fit in with Remco and Eccentric here. He's done a lap time on the soft tyres at 30.6 is a soft tyre run, so he might need to look to improve on that with another soft run. Don't see how he will improve on just slightly worn mediums, but see what he does.
Well, the 2 AlphaTauris are back out on track. Stars, he's, just joined the session and, well, it says he's on a fly, but the ERS hasn't been deployed, so pretty sure this is another outlap. But Mick as well, he's back onto the medium tyres. And we'll have to see what he can do. He just needs to get a lap in at this point. Set himself into the top 10 on those mediums if he can. Because at this point, with his tyre choices so far, got to be led to believe that the medium hards is his preferred strategy, and it seems to be the preferred strategy as most of the other drivers here, apart from those who are just trying to get those qualification spots on the softs, take advantage of all these medium runners. But so far, it hasn't really worked out for a lot of people here. We've got the likes of Ben, who is out again on fresh softs, so looks like he was just testing the softs, so to speak. But
yeah. And just to note that the two guys in the constructors leading car for the APAC division currently don't have a lap timer and are in the bottom 4. So they really need to get this lap out. Otherwise, there could be warning signs going off in their little group, in their garage. So just watching Stars right now, it just looks like he's just trying to find some rhythm, find some form. Obviously doing a hot lap now, but trying to get that out so that he can at least go into the race with some kind of knowledge of how that car's going to react to his setup and tyres, and well, he won't have a gauge on the fuel load yet, but we'll see.
yeah, so far a very clean lap from the AlphaTauri driver, and well, plenty of room to slot himself into the grid. And with how the tides have been falling in so far, the lower end of the top 10 really is sort of the most competitive place in this grid. The upper half, Ben, Igor, Cotters on those softs, Ben on those softs. Igor right now very, very strong coming into here. Neon as well on 130.5 as well. There goes the flag. So everyone out on flyers. It's their last opportunity for a time. But Stars is going to be the first of these runners to set a time in the AlphaTauri. His teammate Mikhail isn't too far behind. The two Ferraris are between them as well. Matt's yet to set a time too, so still plenty of people we haven't even got a benchmark from. But here comes Stars through the final corner, just about keeping it valid. And he pops himself into P7, 130.6 again.
Oh.
There goes Combined into P2.
Oh, it's a good lap from Combined, isn't it?
Matt into 5th as well, so this grid really starting to shake up now. Where's Mikhail going to put himself? We haven't seen a time yet from the Australian through the final corner. And well, it's P4 for Mikhail on those mediums. A very strong lap.
That's setting him up very well for the race here.
Well, it's been dropped by T-Mac.
Yeah, we'll see what Cotters does here. Cotters coming through turn 14 right now, a hairpin. How's he going to approach this final corner? Looked to be pretty conservative through it, didn't really press it, but looks like he's going to improve, and he just jumps him. Igor's got Mikhail as well, so Mikhail's now dropped to P7.
Yeah, Angel
so
as well.
Looked to be a good lap. Yeah, what looked to be a good lap and great positioning has led to him going from about P5 to about P7. And Angel with a good lap. I'm surprised by Combined YouTuber. He's done a good lap there.
But all of those guys above Mikhail, with the exception of Igor, are on those soft compound tyres. So the strategy still within Igor and Mikhail's hands, I think. And we can see that play into the race. And I think that's just about it for qualifying.
Looks to be. I think we're just waiting on a car to be put in the pits. That's Squid in the Williams. Teammates with Red Panda. Panda in P15 with a 131.161. Not sure we'd be too happy with that, considering he is second in the championship. But last race he started from the back, and well, he made a great drive up into the top 5. See if he can do it again here.
Well, there is the final qualifying standings. Ben the Bear on pole by 7/10 ahead of Angel. Then Combined YouTuber in the Ferrari starts alongside T-Mac and the Renault on the second row of the grid. Then we have Cotters, Igor, Mikhail on the medium. So he was the only medium runner in there. Igor qualified on the slots earlier in the session. Then Matt in 8th in the Ferrari. Then we have Neon as well on the slots. Remco Van Putten as well in the Red Bull. So we've got to watch out for these guys starting in the top 10 on the mediums. Then Eccentric in 11th. Stars in 12th. Trin on the softs, only able to qualify in 13th. He, not able to put himself into that top 10. But he will get free tyre choice. Then Shrimp, Panda, Squid, Emzo, and a few others. I think Stars will probably be put to the back of the grid based upon the lobby glitch.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him considering he's starting P12. That's a pretty good position to start in. So you can get fresh mediums, able to easily run that one stop. So note on Matt, who's starting P8 on those softs, he's in a bad position. He could get slowed up very easily by those medium runners by about lap 3. He's got to make the most of those softs in the first 3 laps if he wants any chance of scoring points later on in the race, or being a chance to score points. Like you said, there haven't seen a lot of safety cars around here, but there is always a chance. Turn 16, as we saw before from Matt himself when he had that spin on the exit, slammed into the wall on the left-hand side. That can cause a safety car. I mentioned before you can get a bit of bumping through turn 16 and turn 1, even sometimes turn 7. That can cause some debris to be scattered onto the track, and that sometimes will cause a VSC or a safety car, depending on if the driver retires from the race voluntarily or involuntarily. But
yeah, VSCs, something we've seen a fair amount through here, and we can already see a few drivers outside of that top 10 opting for the hard compounds, but we'll go through the qualifying order once again. It's Ben the Bear on pole, Angel next to him, combined YouTuber T-Mac Codders, Igor Mikau on the mediums, Matt, Neon and Remco on the mediums as well. Then Eccentric and Trin on the hards in 11th and 12th, Shrimp on the mediums in 13th, Panda, Squid and Emzo all on the hards. Then Yukio on the mediums, PTR on the hards, and Stars, like we suspected, has been relegated to the back of this grid in the other AlphaTauri, and he starts this race on the mediums. Everyone, this is APAC division. It's China, the last F1 China race we have here at MRL. So welcome to everyone. Thank you for following along. The predictions just started in the chat, so place your bets there with the channel points as to who's going to win, I do believe. But it's for qualifying tyre and who wins, I think, on which tyre. But yeah, and a big shout out as well to our partners, Misfits Racing League, partnered with Next Level Racing, a brilliant sim rig construction company. They've got beginner level rigs all the way through to advanced stuff. So be sure to check them out, !MLR in the chat, and make sure you get yourself in our Discord as well. A huge community, just gone over 1k members, so a lot of F1 fans in there, both game and real life fans alike. But well, Seb, I think we're in for an absolutely thrilling race here as Ben the Bear comes through into the hairpin to round out the outlap here.
yeah, exactly. Ben the Bear in prime position to take this win at the moment, but he does have some work cut out for him, starting on the softs obviously, as his AI takes over to form him onto the grid. I'm very keen to see how the strategies pan out, or how the race pans out, I should say. Will there be safety cars? Will there not? How does that play into hards runner strategies? Eccentric. I'm looking at him especially, starting on the hard P11. He could cause some damage for top 5 potential point scorers. But we're just waiting on Stars, PDR, Yukio to just form up, get in their grid spots, and then we'll be underway, Unicorn, for Shanghai.
Yeah, here we go. You can see their Stars just slotting himself into that last place on the grid, P19, and well, everyone shuffling into position. Here we go then. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here at Shanghai, and away we go. A very short light sequence for these drivers, but who has got the best start? It looks like the Racing Point of Angel. He's been absolutely blitzed compared to Ben. Combined Jutra and T-Mac, they're going to go side by side through the opening couple of corners. The Renault and the Ferrari. There's a yellow flag behind. PTR and Panda have come together, but so far T-Mac's made it by Combined Jutra, who's now got Igor around his outside, and Mikau, already up a place on those medium tyres, is looking to continue his run, and now he's getting past Igor as well, but Igor, the inside line, coming down into turn 6, and well, the Alfa Romeo, Mikau's been tapped a couple of times, but that's behind him. A queue cars coming together, 3 wide behind them. Remco's taken full advantage of that situation, and he's up 3 places as well on these mediums as well, Seb.
Yeah, I nearly forgot to mention that. Turn 6 and turn 14, heavy braking zones. They've got to be careful not to run into the back of other drivers. Just a note on Red Panda and PTR. Another time they've collided in history. I know these guys, I know Panda just not happy with PDR, and I know PDR tends to come across Panda a lot, and they've come across each other again. Turn 1, not even 20 seconds into the race, and they've collided. So those two will be not very happy with themselves and each other.
Yeah, well, a very, very interesting opening lap. Mikhail, Remco and Neon, the 3 medium runners who started in that top 10, already climbing a lot of positions. Neon might have a look at Remco, going to be too far back into the hairpin this time around. But he's going to stay
gone for a dive on Matt, down for P10.
Oh,
there's a tap,
not
and
worked out for him.
around.
That NASCAR straight into the off track. The move really not working out for him, and he won't be too happy with that. He's going to hop straight to the pit lane for a fresh front wing.
It's like he went for the dive and just got too deep on it, and then he just couldn't pull out the way of Matt, or maybe he was expecting Matt to get out the way. See what the stewards have to say about that. That will probably most likely get reported by Shrimp, I think. But he's into the pits now. He's got damaged front wing, and that's going to throw nice spanner work into his race there.
Yeah, and we can already see Ben the Bear is making his charge. He is still in first place. There we go. The timing tower starting to update itself, and well, he's already pulled out 1.5 seconds in the opening lap alone from the racing point of Angel behind, and he's already looking pretty strong. Mikhail as well, still, he did get past Igor for a brief moment, but that problems through turn 6, constantly in the position. He's still very, very tight to the Alfa Romeo ahead, though, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him overtake in the next couple of laps.
Well, he's just got a great line through turn 12. He should be able to get Igor through here out of turn 13, along this back straight to turn 14. He's not using overtake there. Looks like he's going to save it up for when DRS is enabled. Wow, he got a great start, didn't he? Just the start he needed. Gets the position. Just slowly working his way up. Remco also had a great start as well. From P10 to P7. He's making moves as well.
So a quick look
for T-Mac and Angel, as you were saying.
Yeah, a quick look at the position changes, and well, the top 2 staying exactly where they were. T-Mac and Combined, they've exchanged positions, but Combined hasn't dropped off the back of T-Mac. I think T-Mac just got a little bit of better launch off the line. Igor's held station in 5th, then Mikhail up 1. Remco's up 3, like you said, and Neon as well up 1 on those mediums. Cotters, he's had a terrible start, drop 4, and then Stars from the back of this grid, Seb, up 9 places into the points already, and well, Matt's had an issue here in the Ferrari. Not quite sure what's happened, no damage. Loss
of throttle, sorry, loss of traction, I should say. Too much throttle out of turn 3 and 4. Yeah, like you said, Stars, amazing start. Remember Vietnam, he got an absolutely lightning start going around the outside of Mikhail and Peter into turn 1. He tends to get those amazing starts. Master of starts, we should call him. He's just starting to get this nice train for P3. T-Mac 2 all the way to Neon, P3 to P8. Just forming up nicely. Nice DRS train, as you'll see.
Yeah, DRS now in full swing, and well, because we got this DRS train, I think this is going to hinder Mikhail's trying to get past Igor here. He might have a look here into the hairpin. He got very, very close. The camera angle really outlining how close that AlphaTauri was, but kept it very clean. Ben sets fastest lap. He's already 2.3 seconds. He's nowhere near part of this DRS chain, and Angel as well has got a huge gap as well. Here goes Combined, looking to retake P3 from T-Mac up the inside of turn 1. The Ferrari and the Renault side by side. It's reversed from what it was on lap 1. T-Mac has the inside though coming through turn 3. Can he hold off this Ferrari who's up the inside of Igor as well? Looking up the outside.
There he goes, getting into this. T-Mac and them nearly bump wheels, I think. Look at Igor, just get down the inside. That's an opportunistic move, a good move as well. How good is his traction going to be? He nearly loses it. Look, this is going to allow Mika through, and it does. Remco behind, getting in tangles with Neon. Out of turn 6 on the traction. It looked like they nearly took each other out, but just about saved. Oh, and just on topic, Mikhail, turn 14. Looked like he wanted to go for that late move on Igor, but it's like Igor had the same thought process on Combined and T-Mac up ahead.
Yeah, very unlucky for Igor there. Like you said, it was looking like a very, very good move coming out of the Alfa Romeo, but that loss of traction's really cost him here, and well, it saved T-Mac a little bit because he was about to drop 2 positions. He still might lose that second position this lap. Look at this. Mikhail out of turn 13. Just a huge advantage on traction. These softs already starting to feel it would seem. And Mikhail just breezes past the Renault for P4. Remco and Neon.
Remco's got wing damage on his right-hand side. Didn't notice that. Jeez, that's going to cost him dearly. And oh, that's a... who's that?
It's
That's
T-Mac.
T-Mac. That's T-Mac dropping positions. I wonder what's happened there.
He was stationary in the hairpin. It looks like he was sort of pointing inwards, so not sure what's happened to the Renault.
Himself. Yeah, I wonder if he's just outbroken himself and runs the inside of Mikhail. That's the only way I can think is that he's just stopped on that exact angle and that spot of the track. Oh my god. I was just about to say that all that fighting has caused a bigger train from P3 to P8 to P3 to like P11, but that's all gone now.
Yeah, this is really falling into place for these medium runners. Mikhail, Neon, and Remco now 4th through 6th, respectively. Remco with that wing damage could cost him, but Mikhail and Neon on for a really, really nice finish with how these soft runners race is playing out. Angel and Ben, they are starting to extend that gap that they need. The one you were mentioning earlier, where if you can run away a little bit, you can make these softs work for you. But goodbye, YouTuber, with Mikhail right on his gearbox. He's going to struggle here, and well, we've just seen what's happened to T-Mac and Igor as well.
Look at Stars, P8. He started P19 to Unicorn. What a race he's had so far. Lap 5 and he's up to P8. Jeez, he's had a great start. He's all over the back of Cotters as well, looking keen for P7.
Yeah, really putting a lot of pressure on. Look at that, up the inside. Through to 13, doesn't even need the DRS on the straight, and now Cotters could be on eccentric, and yeah.
Meanwhile, his teammates just got combined for P3. Cotters, eccentric going at it now into P14. Who's going to blink first? Eccentric going really deep, nearly running into the back of Stars, but just about pulls it up.
Still side by side, but there we go. Cotters just sort of letting eccentric by because he needs the pit lane. Remco's in as well, and well, this is where things are going to start shaking out. A lot more of these soft runners are going to start hopping into the pit lane. I think we're going to see combined YouTuber just fall off the back of Mikhail. Whether Neon gets past this lap, I wouldn't be too surprised if he could close that gap down.
It's going to be a tough race from here for Remco, but chance he can make this work. Just needs a bit of luck and maybe a safety car or two to come out.
Yeah, safety car would really close this grid back up. A lot of these drivers have had pretty unfortunate race starts, but some of them really taking advantage. Trin right now on the back of Squid, both guys on the hard combat tyres. Eccentric as well is up to 7th on the hard, so have to see how this plays out as Squid's teammate Panda looks up the inside of the McLaren, and they've both gone sliding. And what an excellent save from the Williams. That was a huge drift, but yeah, he's done well to catch that one.
Yeah, that's turn 7. I think I said before, a Red Bull and a Racing Point in the Americas had to come together, and that sent Red Bull around. Great job by Panda, hold on to that. But meanwhile, in one sector, Mikhail took out 8/10 of Angel, I believe. It's in the second sector. So meanwhile, all this is happening. Combined is slowly being caught by Neon and Stars. P6 at the moment, but obviously there's been some pit stops. So, see where he is later in the race. Matt's had a spin on the exit of turn 6, that's what that yellow flag is for. His races, or his day, night, whatever time it is for him, from alright to bad to worse at the moment. 20 seconds off Shrimp, who's in P18.
Well, the leaders have all hopped into the pit lane, and well, here comes Ben the Bear. He comes out in 9th place on the fresh mediums. Angel behind him. Looks like they'll both be going for the 2-stop here. I'd be very surprised to see him take the mediums to the end from here. It'd be pretty much impossible, but P9 just off the back of the train ahead, but that battle is going to slow them all up. And well, we know Ben's pace, and here he goes on the fresh set of mediums, and we're looking to charge his way through the field.
I don't think being held up for him would be too much of an issue at this point. He does have 6 seconds on Mikhail at the moment. He has 3 seconds on Angel at the moment. That's 6 seconds is provisional to Mikhail, I should say. But yeah, he's in a pretty comfortable spot at the moment. You just got to hope that he doesn't get held up too much to the point that he is getting frustrated and maybe even nearly running to the back of these guys.
Yeah, they're all on hard, so the option. Matt's out. He's retired in the pit lane. Obviously, like you said, just a little bit too far behind. Enzo might be under a little bit of threat from Panda here, going down into the hairpin. Can the Williams find the move? He's going to look for it, but it seems like it's going to be a little bit late. A little bit of a light tap onto the rear of the McLaren, and well, a little bit of loss of traction as well out of the hairpin.
He was really sliding out of turn 13. I was on board with him, and he was really giving that rear end of the car a lot, asking a lot of it, but he was able to hold it. Not sure how fast it is, especially in this game. If you lose traction, you can tend to lose a lot of time out of corners, but he's able to hold it. It seems to work for him. He is second in the championship, so he should stick to his guns at this moment.
Yeah, Remco, he's just got past T-Mac, I do believe, through that hairpin as well, and to see whether the Renault can come back at him through turns 1 and 2, but I don't think he will be able to.
Yeah, T-Mac's having a little look around the outside. Obviously, don't think it would amount to anything. Just trying to make sure he doesn't run into the back of Remco and ruin his own race and Remco's race. Alright, now, Ben the Bear is all over the back of his fight for P5.
Yeah, he's found them, and well, I wouldn't be surprised to see a cheeky move up the look of inside turn 11. He's not going to go for it, but we've seen a couple of moves through there this week. A sort of unorthodox overtaking position. There's Panda slide. That is going to lose him the position to Ben the Bear, although he cuts across. I don't think he was expecting the Mercedes to go for that move, but if you've watched Ben the Bear for long enough, you know he is always going to pounce on an opportunity like that. So there is the first overtake for Ben to get his way back through this field. And up ahead, you can see Trin and Squid. They're going at it down into the hairpin. It's Squid on the inside, getting past the Alfa Romeo, but a little bit of contact between the two. Squid just couldn't seem to get it.
And Ben the Bear's gonna have a look down the inside of the Trin into turn 16. Oh, that nearly didn't pay off. That could have ended poorly, but geez, Trin got squeezed in the exit by Squid, and I think he was expecting Squid to give him space, and maybe Squid wasn't expecting him to be there, so they nearly made contact.
Oh, Squid's round!
It's gonna nearly affect Ben. Oh.
I think Ben's just about missed that, but it's costing the position to Panda, but no wing damage. Amazing reactions from Ben, but he will have been absolutely shaken to his core seeing that Williams spin round in turn 1 like that.
Yeah, exactly. Tier 2, I believe lap 1, both Renaults had an incident like similar to that. One got spun around, can't remember who it was exactly, but I do remember that one of them got spun around and got them facing the other way. Great reactions by Ben the Bear, as you mentioned, and he would have been hairy. This is going to be a move though. On Panda, is it? He's looking down the inside of turn 9. What a great move that is. Very opportunistic. Had a look around the outside of the turn 8. Made him know he was there. Got the move done in turn 9. You don't really see moves there, but it can be done when you have supreme grip over the opposing driver.
Yeah, and I can't imagine that the Hards are really feeling, you know, a lack of grip right now, but obviously compared to a fresh set of mediums and but as well, Stars and Neon exchange up at the top. We're on board with Ben the Bear right now, breezing past Trin, but Stars and Neon through the hairpin, the AlphaTauri into P2. It's 1-2 right now with the AlphaTauri. A little bit of contact between the two. Neon coming out of that last corner, overtake and DRS enabled. You can see the other Mercedes is eccentric behind them, and well, Neon just takes it straight back through to turn 1, Seb.
Yes, a bit naughty, but it wasn't too bad of a touch. It was just really light. It didn't even look like he touched him, to be honest with you, but may have hit his hitbox. But this has allowed Eccentric to get really into this fight. And geez, he's got a great exit out of turn 2 and 3. Could have a running at Stars, but he's just a bit too far back to go for a lunge at this moment.
Yeah, the other Mercedes, he's had an even better run. Ben's just absolutely breezed past Emzo out of that 4th corner. Now down into 6th, and well, he's just well and truly ahead already. And very, very nice moves to get his way back through this field. It's his teammate next, and I don't believe Eccentric is actually reserving here today, but still in that Mercedes car, regardless of a pirate or not, they are representing the same team, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Eccentric make it just a little bit easier on Ben than anyone else trying to get past.
Exactly. Everything's just kind of died down a little bit here, but there's still a bit of couple of battles going on. Got Eccentric and Stars going at it right now, back straight. Eccentric go for a dive. He's looking at it. He's going to go for the lunge right now. The Stars going to give him the respect. Looks like Stars is, but he's going to stay in the fight on the exit through 15. If Stars gets an elite exit, but he's going to back out. Give Eccentric the corner for turn 16. Maybe he can fight back on the run down to turn 1, but he doesn't get a great exit and great run through turn 16, and that just means Eccentric's going to get away from him.
Yeah, Trin's had some sort of issue exiting the hairpin, and this could leave him vulnerable to Anel, who's just overtaken Panda. Angel on the same strategy as Ben the Bear, obviously not working out quite as well for the Racing Point as it is the Mercedes, but right now, here he goes looking around the outside of turn 1 of the Alfa Romeo. Can he hold it? He's not quite got the pace, and well, a little bit of contact between the two, and that means that the Racing Point is going to lunge through turn 3, and well, that was always a tricky move to get done, but he actually might have it here, depending on the exit he gets, and well, Trin's still looking like he's got all the pace he needs to hold it up the inside, coming down into turn 6. They're still side by side here, and the Racing Point now with a better exit than the Alfa Romeo, and well, a hard fought battle, but one that got Angel the position in the end. Very nicely done from him.
Yeah, what a good battle. Lasted 5 corners, but it was very good nonetheless. A lot of wheel banging, but it was all very fair and wasn't I'd say rude. Kept within racing etiquette.
Yeah, here goes Stars again, and he'll be looking for Eccentric this time around, but the DRS on Eccentric he's got on Neon is really saving in here, and Mikhail right now as well. Just running away with it at the front. 6.2 seconds to Neon, and well, if Neon starts to get caught by these hard runners and this gets him dragged into a battle, this could really, really work out for Mikhail. Although Neon's going to come in, he's going to try and get the undercut.
Well, this could be highly beneficial. It sometimes doesn't work around here though. You gotta try and get yourself into a bit of clean air. It takes a bit for these hards to fire up and warm up, but see, if you get about 2 laps on these guys, it can work out very well. As Fred Panda's also called it into the pits. What he's going to go on to. Might be mediums. We'll see.
Mediums to the end from here. A bit of a stretch, but certainly possible, I should imagine, as you know, with these pit stops, things are really starting to peter out. Though, speaking of Peter, here he is up the inside of T-Mac. The mediums versus the hards, one much fresher than the others, but T-Mac just going to hold that inside line up. And there's Neon as well. He's just been thrust into this battle as well. Behind Igor.
Peter just using that overtake on the edge of the corner, nearly losing the car, going for a dive down the inside of T-Mac. Looks like he's got the move, but can T-Mac get the switchback? No, he can't. He's just blocked off well enough by Peter. It's a nice move. Very nice and clinical right there.
Yeah, really nice. Looked like he was a little late on the brakes, but like you said, just nice to sort of get it stopped right where T-Mac needed to go to get that switchback. So, very well defended once he was passed. So, super nice move coming out of the Red Bull camp, but still, both Red Bulls right now outside of the points.
Angel looks like he's got a great run at Emzo on the run down to turn 14.
Up the inside, and that Racing Point got that move done nice and cleanly, and well, Mikhail's into the pits as well. So, where is the race leader gonna hop out? He is on hards, as I think pretty much everyone would have expected. He's going to lose out to Emzo and Angel here, but where's Trin? There he is. So, Mikhail coming out in 7th place. He will not be disappointed with that, especially when there's 4 people ahead of him who still have to pit in this race.
See how well he goes in these hards. If he can make some gains on Angel, and well, especially Angel, I'm not sure if he will catch Ben the Bear without a safety car, but if you can make some gains on Angel in the next 5 or so laps, 7 or so laps, good chance you could take P2 away from him. There's a yellow flag. That's T-Mac on the exit of turn 3 through turn 4.
Yeah, in the gravel track or the grass, and no damage on that Renault, so it'll be good to continue racing. But his race really has gone from good to just completely disappointing for him. He will not be happy with how this one's ended out. It was like so strong in the early stages, but now in the grass, and he'll just be very, very unhappy with a couple of the incidents he's had throughout this race. But here goes Mick out, and he has got a lovely run on Trin out of turn 13, and here he comes down this long straight and just breezes past the Alfa Romeo, but Trin, as a cheeky look at the inside, realises that he's not got anywhere near the pace he needs to get that move done. But Stars, the other AlphaTauri, he's into the pit lane. We'll have to see where he comes out. He'll probably be somewhere around P11, I would expect.
Yeah, Mikhail with that move, just obviously 13 lap fresher hards. Just gonna get, yeah, he's gonna breeze by the other guy.
Oh, Remco's just had a huge snap. He's managed to not retire the car into that inside wall, but you said it earlier,
Ooh.
brilliant place to bring out a safety car, and miraculously no damage for the Red Bull.
Yeah, he's done a good job. You said it. He's done a good job to keep out the wall there. Doesn't look like he's got much wing damage to him. He should be able to keep going, but that really damages the confidence right there.
Oh, and I think the tyres are just absolutely red hot as he does a nice pirouette through turn 1. And this is pretty much race over for the Dutch driver.
Yeah, it's not good to see. Someone you thought was in a good position earlier on, following Mikau in the early stages of the race. Mikau's in P6 here, Remco himself is in P7. Yeah, it's just another driver who's started off looking promising, and then as the race panned out, it's just kind of gone nowhere. Interesting enough though, Peter's the only driver with a penalty on track at the moment.
Yeah, now the Red Bull really not looking like it is Red Bull's day. Enzo and Mikau. Mikau's got that move done nice and cleanly. Back on board with Cotters. He's looking like he's going to have combined YouTuber nice and easily as well down into the hairpin. And Remco off the track again. He's down through turns to in sector 2, sorry. And that's where we saw Peter actually retiring qualifying. So the Red Bulls, don't know if they're trying a really, really low downforce setup for that speed down that back straight, but it's not working out if that is the case for them. But here goes combined.
Mikau 33. Yeah, Mikau 33.5. He's really gaining on Angel, making some serious gains. Seriously in contention here for a solid P2. I'm not sure he'll take the win away from Ben the Bear at the moment. He's about 9.8 off of him, now 10 seconds, but you never know. Something could always happen to Ben the Bear. But Mikau needs a bit of luck if he wants to steal first place, but he's in a very good position to steal second.
Yeah, as I said, he's 1-2, but Eccentric still has to pit. M-Zone, Trends, Squid, they've all got to get off of these hards as well, but by that time I think it's going to be a little late for these drivers. They're going to get flung so far down this grid that it will be hard to get back to some really strong points like they're sitting in now.
Meanwhile, Stars has caught onto the back of Cotters and combined YouTuber at the moment in this fight for P8. Should be able to get by these two pretty easily and get onto Squid, who's up the road. 14 lap older hards yet to pit as well, or actually sorry, yet to do his second stop. He will need a pit again.
Yeah, here goes combined and Cotters into the hairpin, and well, both Cotters defending that nicely, and this is just pushing them back into Stars. PTR and T-Mac are having a nice little fight of their own down for 15th place, but Stars actually gets a pretty bad exit out of the final corner, which sees combined and Cotters to sort of run away. Trins into the pits lane, so he's going to get onto some mediums towards the end of this race and see if he can undercut Squid and Enzo alike. Coming through the opening corners though. Stars, he's caught right back up to combined and Cotters, and let's see what he can do as they come down through into turn 6. The Haas still leading this train ahead of the Ferrari, who's under a lot of pressure from this Alpha Tauri.
Meanwhile, his teammate getting in the action with Angel. P3, looks like he's going to take that away from him and make the provisional P2 his.
Almost a huge lunge coming out of Stars. He looks again. He's looked for a couple now. Eccentric gets passed by his teammate Ben the Bear down into the hairpin, and he'll be pretty happy that he is now back again in lead of this race. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Ben pit again as Stars, a monster exit out of turn 13. Seasons just fly past combined YouTuber, and there goes Ben with fastest lap. Eccentric comes into the pit lane. Maybe a little bit of communication there so that Ben could get fastest lap with that DRS and slipstream down that long back straight before Eccentric came in for that pit lane. Who was that as well? Enzo into the pits as well off of the hards and the McLaren. Squid as well. And where's Trin in all of this? Is the Alfa Romeo going to take advantage? As Panda is side by side with Trin himself. Where are these guys? Where are the pit lane cars? You can see Enzo and Squid on that track map just exited the pit lane. Squid's still in it. The McLaren is going to be right here with these guys. Panda just has to defend from Trina's Emzo, sorry, just there in P10. This is all for that final points position.
Keep in mind, Igor's got a pit again. Sorry, Igor's got a pit again. I need to pronounce that right. I think I pronounced that wrong about 7 times. Sorry, Igor, but you know, he does have to pit again, I believe. 11 up old hards, maybe, or maybe not actually. They should make it in. Looking at Cotters is the one that might need to pit again. 10 lap old mediums. Don't think you can make those last. We might drop down all the way behind these guys. He could come into play later in the race in the dying stages.
Angel, a very shaky exit out of turn 13 might have just costed the position to Mikau here, as there's a lot of position swapping behind them. There's 3 cars going down in towards the hairpin. It's Eccentric on the fresh mediums, Stars on fresh hards, and now combined YouTuber as well. And well, there seems to be some sort of incident on the start finish straight of Red Bull stationary on track, but we'll see who that is in just a moment. Ben's into the pit lane as well as Angel for that second set of mediums. So soft mediums for the front runners.
I think that's Remco. It's not been good for him, has it?
Yeah, very, very unfortunate race for him, but here we go. Side by side, Neon and combined YouTuber. Just trying to hold out the inside of turn 3. Not going to find it in the Ferrari, but yeah, you can see Remco there just off the track. Really unfortunate race for him, and well, the race for the win, it's Ben the Bear, 10.7 seconds behind Mikau. Hards versus mediums, and 10 laps to go. 1 second a lap, Seb. Do you think it's possible?
Yep. It's tough, isn't it? Mikau does have relatively new hards on him, doesn't he? So Ben's gonna have to put some really good laps here. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Got about seeing in the next 3 laps how much Ben the Bear's taking out of Mikau. I suppose that's Remco again, just in sector 2. I'm just thinking about retiring at this rate. I'm pretty sure that's allowed. Just got to make sure you're out of the way of other oncoming cars. You are responsible for your car if you leave a session or retire on track. So, yeah, just Neon and sorry to cut you off, but Neon and Combined just over at turn 3 before. Combined having to yield to Neon on the outside line, who just gets a much better run through the corner. But yeah, as you were saying.
Yeah, Eccentric just picking up the point, or the position off of Cottas, and he joins his teammate into that top 3, and well, the Mercedes here looking on for a very, very strong finish. If Ben can catch Mick out, maybe he can hold him up as well, and maybe we could see a Mercedes 1-2. It's possible. Seems unlikely, but possible for the pair of them.
You know, what does this mean for the constructors? If you look over at P5, you can see Stars, that AlphaTauri teaming up with Mikau. They will take points or extend their lead over the Mercedes at the moment. 25 and 10, 35 points compared to 33 points. So it's looking good so far for the AlphaTauri crew. They're just going to slowly chip away or get away from Ben the Bear and Captain of Gold, but Captain of Gold's not racing at the moment, so we'll just say the Mercedes crew for now.
Yeah, exactly, and either way, even if Eccentric, let me see, is Eccentric scoring points? No, Eccentric will be scoring points for the Pirates, but despite the fact that he won't be scoring for the Mercedes crew, he will be taking away the points for the other teams, so sort of is a nice cushion for Ben, but at the same time benefits Mikau as well. And at the same time as Angel picks up 8th away from Igor, but at the same time, whilst Ben is the only scoring Mercedes, you know, both Red Bulls, 5th and 6th right now in the championship standings, both well and truly out of the points, and I think it'd be a miracle if either of them even got into P10. So I think Ben is going to be pretty happy with today's result, but despite the fact that Mikau right now still extending his lead, provided everything finishes as it is.
Yeah, hasn't been good for the Bulls, hasn't it? Seeing red in China.
Ben, though, is actually catching.
Yeah, he has. I was just about to touch on that just as we finished talking about this, but he's taken 2 seconds out of Mikko in the past 2 laps, so pressure's on here. He's going to make the first mistake. Will they even make any mistakes, and will Ben the Bear just catch him by the end of the race and say, this is my win and I own this? But we'll see. Mikko, talking to him last race at the end, if anyone stuck around for that post-race interview, just said he wants to just keep chipping away at the championship, just get points.
Oh, Arnaud's had an issue.
Or has he?
The racing point's off. He is really struggling through the last parts of Sector 2. And he is now out of the points.
He looks like he was going to get top 3 as well.
He was on the same strategy as Ben, and well, that is game over him. The 2 Red Bulls not quite sure what they're doing down into the hairpin, but Corders, Neon, and Stars all exchanging down into the hairpin, and well, Corders could be on for a nice finish as well here, because there's penalties. Well, I say that, he goes into the pits because his tyres. Haven't got onto that bit yet, but there's a few penalties sitting in that top 5 right now, Seb, and that could prove interesting for the end.
Well, it's Stars, Neon, and Igor just on the 3-second penalties each. Combined could play into factor here if Stars and Neon go at it. They could really hold each other up, and Combined could really factor in here.
Yeah, he could pick up P4 if these guys continue to battle like they are. Right now, he would finish P4 at the way it stands.
Yeah, you're right, and that'd be his first points of the season. So he'd love that at this moment. He's been. I'd say he's one of those guys who's been quietly good this race. Started, I believe, P3, wasn't it? He's just proving his worth at the moment for Ferrari, getting the points, keeping out of trouble, keeping it clean, showing moderate pace. Doesn't have to wow anyone to be good though, and get a result.
Yeah, and it's still early in that season as well. You know, we're saying, you know, Mick out 3 podiums, 3 races, and it's looking like it's going to be 4 for 4. But at the same time, there's still plenty of races left in this calendar. So
yeah, you're right.
If Combined can get a P4 and keep doing that week after week, he's still in for a very nice finish in the whole championship as a whole. There's a lot of opportunity. We saw Ben, you know, terrible start to the season, hop straight into P3 after last race, so still a lot of scope for changing.
Well, that's what a win can do to you. I genuinely think that the F1 calendar is too long, because it devalues a race result generally, so you know, more chances to make up for a mistake. But you know, it is what it is, and you normally end up getting the best drivers in equal racing leagues like this that win the championship. So it's going to be cool to see how this season pans out. As like we said earlier on, in the evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are. You've got Zandvoort in Spain, then Monaco next in the calendar. Zandvoort, not really an overtaking track, but it can be quite fun to race at. Spain can see some good racing through turn 1, 2, and 3. And Monaco is just a survival of the fittest.
Yeah, and then the calendar in that second half, I think a lot of people, the first half of the calendar, really those technical tracks, you know, you've got your Monacos, your Bakus, your Vietnams, where the walls are very close, you've got a lot of tight racing, but then the tracks sort of open up a little bit at the end there, so I think that second half, a lot of people sigh of relief, they enjoy those later tracks.
As well. Yeah, absolutely classic tracks as well. Suzuka, Great Britain, you know, Italy, Spa. There's some legendary tracks right there. Great fun to drive.
Yeah, these closing few laps, not a lot going on. We've still got Neon and Stars, but Stars starting to pull away from the McLaren a little bit.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Compliance has dropped off these two. He's on those 15-lap-old hards. It's going to be a struggle to make them to the end, but if he can do that, kudos to him. Done a magnificent job so far, and wouldn't put him past him to get the job done here. Just meanwhile, P8, 9, and 10 battling away. 1.3 separates Red Panda, Enzo, and Trin.
I want to bring attention to Igor as well. You said Combine's tyres might not make it to the end. Igor's 17-lap-old. I think we saw a puncture on 21-lap-old tyres in Tier 1. I think Alex Biddo's tyres, 21 laps old, burst. And Well, can we see the same from Igor? His tires are going to be 22 laps old, I think, at the end of this race. So that's a very risky strategy for him.
Oh, yeah, it's very possible, isn't it? You got this track has a lot of high load corners. You're looking at turn 13, turn 2, turn 7, turn 8. You know, these corners put a lot of stress on the tires, and just makes it very easy when you're at high wear to through these tires. About 70% wear plus to get punctures in this game. PDR calls it quits. Hasn't been a night for him, has it?
He's crashed his safety car.
Oh, it's a safety car.
Lap 24. There he is. There is the Red Bull.
Well, hold on a second. He's gone onto. It looks like he's gone onto the wet. It said the game. Has the game says he's gone to as well? He has. Well, this is very interesting.
Well, that is.
I wonder if that would get investigated, because
I imagine it will.
On a dry track. It makes no sense.
But here goes Stars into the pits. Neon combined. Everyone apart from the top 3 is going to be onto fresh softs.
Well, the top 3 are going to need to pit here. Stars might, or maybe Ben the Bear not. Ben the Bear has enough talent to maybe see this through. But Stars could really cause some damage here.
Mikael's got a penalty.
Yeah, Mikael does have a penalty. It's unfortunate for him.
This could really see his race win just torn away from him.
Mikael got a warning on lap 9, a warning on lap 14, and a warning on lap 21, and he got the penalty on lap 21. Gee, that has gone past both of our eyes.
Well, everyone getting past the safety car. Should be. I think there's a big enough gap. I think there's a big enough gap for these 3 to get onto softs.
Yeah.
So they should be
really
okay.
Should. But what does this mean for combined? He doesn't have a penalty. He could steal a podium position here. If this safety car stays out for 2 laps, it's definitely going to stay out here. You've got 24, 25, 26. Yeah, 2 laps of racing, and combined could have a podium here.
Everyone just needs to keep it clean on the restart.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mick into the pits. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. Ben as well. He's going to fly in eccentric here. He needs to be careful he doesn't get double stuck. It shouldn't really cost him any time, but with how long the game can take to get that pit crew realigned, he might drop to the Red Bull here. I doubt it, but it really depends on how long he gets held.
There's such a big gap. I don't think he'll be. The pit stop should be about 5 seconds, I'd assume.
Yeah, a little bit of delay getting those tyres on.
Yeah, he should get out easy.
But there we go, the top 3. They do get onto the softs. It won't impede them, but like we said, that penalty and the penalties along this grid, really going to see the likes of combined. Even Panda, maybe not for the podium, but for a lot more points. Panda right now sitting P2 in the standings. This could be very nice for him to sort of continue to establish himself in that top 3 in the standings. Enzo as well, some nice points to pick up for him. Even if he is reserving here this afternoon. But what an interesting development. I don't think anyone saw this. We hadn't had a single VSC, a single safety car until lap 24. So, who wins this race? Everyone in chat, who wins this race now? I want to hear your thoughts.
At this moment, I think the logical thing to say would be Ben the Bear. Okay, with the penalty, it's unless Ben the Bear gets a penalty himself. I'll just give a quick check of his warnings. He's got 1 warning. He's got 2 warnings himself. So really, Mikael could try and force him into an area here. Oh, Stars has left the session. But yeah, I don't know what Peter was doing, but if he's just been taking the piss the whole time, that's poor form. It's really cost Mikael a chance of a win here.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate for the Australian. He is fast though, so you could still see him on the podium even with that penalty. There's plenty of people with penalties behind Stars, Neon, so Mick could really see himself on that podium, but I don't think it's going to be the top step. It would have been tight as to who won, but now with Ben and Mick out, Ben penalty free, I think it's pretty much game over for the 25 points for Mikael, and we could even see a Mercedes 1-2.
Yeah, exactly. I know a lot of races as well. This is going to chip into Mikhail's lead a lot here. 10 points is fair bit margin, especially when you're coming up against a guy like Ben the Bear. Yeah, if you're a Mikhail, you accept to lose 7 points, but losing 10 is a tall ask.
Yeah, really, really tough, but it's still going to be a good evening for Alpha Tauri. I think they will score more points than any other constructor based upon where Stars and Mikhail are both right now, but again, Stars with a penalty as well. We could see him drop to the likes of Combined, maybe Panda as well, depending on how this restart goes for everyone, but...
Yeah, I just want to draw your attention to T-Mac, who's in the final section of the track. I wonder if the safety car's going to come in this lap, if T-Mac has to catch up. So if it stays out one more lap, I'm not sure Mikhail holds on to that podium position.
He's using ERS just to try and catch up, because I don't think he thinks it's going to stay out either. I would be very surprised.
Yeah, well, it normally doesn't stay out for... sorry, you normally don't really have one lap of green flags racing. So it should come in this lap. We should see lights off the safety car by the end of the sector, and we should be good to go. But yep, it is. 2 laps of racing. Should be some good 2 laps. Some exciting 2 laps, we hope. No DRS as well. Oh, is there DRS? I can't remember now. Is it 2 laps?
There won't be. Yeah, there won't be DRS at all. I don't think at the end of this race.
Yeah, no DRS. So this is just down to pure skill and setups as well.
Here we go then. Mikhail, when is he going to go? I would expect to try and get it out of the hairpin, a nice launch, but that would benefit everyone in the top like 3. But
yeah,
for him, he needs to beat Ben the Bear.
Yeah, ideally what you want to do is you want to kind of slow everyone down through the hairpin and launch it out of there. But if you can't do that, just start weaving. Pay attention to what Ben the Bear does. When he weaves to the right, it's good if you go then. He hasn't gone yet. It looks like he was going to go there, but Ben the Bear's keeping it still. He's
there.
Gone.
He goes.
He has gone. Kind of caught Ben the Bear napping, but it's not too big of a deal. Ben the Bear does have that penalty to contend. Oh, sorry, Mick has that penalty to contend with. Ben the Bear just has to stay within that 3-second window. But yeah.
Oh, Neon's off.
Neon's off.
He's spun it through the final corner on the restart, and that is his race pretty much over. From what looked like could have been points for the McLaren driver, he is now well and truly out of them. Meanwhile, well, Panda, he's still on for a nice set of points. Up at the top, yellow flag, that's Remco in P16, still just living past all the front runners. He was somewhere in high up in the chain. It looks like Stars, I think he had a connection issue under the safety car.
Yeah, he's still unable to rejoin. I'm sure that means for him in the race, but he's losing Combined at the moment. Front 3 have really pulled away from this pack at the moment. This midfield pack from P4-ish to about P12. Let's see what happens here. This could get really hectic, Unicorn.
Yeah, Mikhail could still be on for a P2 here with how this start has gone. Eccentric, miles off of Ben the Bear. 1.7 seconds already, and that puts him about 2.5 off of Mikhail.
Oh!
Mikhail's got a lap and a bit.
Down for P10, just Trin and Emzo getting out of shape, and that cost Cotters. He got caught on the inside of Trin and the inside of turn 12, and now we're just getting some action down this back straight on the run to turn 14. Who's going to blink first between Emzo and Trin? Who's going to blink first? Looks like it's Trin. Emzo trying to sweep around the outside. Trin cutting off that line, and Trin's been sent to the left-hand side on the exit of turn 14 through 15, and he's out of the points now.
If I'm right in saying, that's the second time this race that's happened to him in exactly the same fashion, in the same corner. He will not be happy. Redemption was looking like it was going to happen for him, but it just hasn't happened here. Squid looking around the outside of what looks like an AI-controlled Alpha Tauri. He's going to pick up P6 here, and he's penalty-free right now. And, well, the Tier 3 driver representing the grid well. He's up into P6, and he might even see himself get past Igor as well on penalties if he can keep himself all squeaky clean.
Panda's just having trouble navigating Stars' AI car. Really is.
He's lost an end plate. I don't know if it was there where he's just sort of caught on him, but he's missing an end plate on that Williams, and now
this could allow Shrimp through if he can get past Stars around the outside of turn 8. Doesn't look like it, but maybe he could go for a dive here. He does. They're normally very forgiving, but oh, gee, very interesting at the moment.
Well, up at the front. It is the final lap of the race. It might not feel like it without DRS, but here we are, lap number 28 of 28, and well, these two miles ahead, and it looks like Mikau, provided all goes well through these final few corners, will pick up P2, but he will cross the line first as well. Ben hasn't been able to get past, but he really doesn't need to, as Mikau, here he comes across the line in P1, but it's a bittersweet victory as, well, there he goes. He loses it to Ben the Bear. Eccentric will pick up P3, but there's still battling going on out of the hairpin on this final lap. We've got the Renault of T-Mac ahead of Stars, Connors and Enzo are side by side. There's a big spin for the McLaren. It's both McLarens out of the points down to the last corner, and everyone crossing the line. Penalties jostling everyone into position, but there we are. That is this race well and truly over in a very, very dramatic fashion. And, well, Ben the Bear with the win, Mikau P2 and Eccentric are our podium finishers, Seb.
Look who combined in P4 as well. A great race from him. Really made the most of his opportunities, put himself in a great spot to steal points. He's done that here. Congratulations to Ben the Bear on the win. Yeah, Mikau's definitely too happy with that.
Driver of the day goes to Squid, and Squid reserving for his own team, so he will pick up points. Those won't go to the Pirates, so his team will be very happy about that. But there he is, Ben the Bear. 2 wins on the bounce for the Mercedes driver. And despite his teammate being on the podium, it's not a double points finish for Mercedes, given Captain of Gold isn't here. But Mikau P2, still a very strong finish. But like you said, bittersweet victory. He is not going to be too happy about the fact that he's missed out on the 25 points here. And we'll get his thoughts on that in just a moment in driver interviews. But here we are, the final standings for tonight's race. Ben the Bear in P1 ahead of Mikau after that penalty. Mikau 7th to 2nd, still a huge drive. Eccentric 11th to 3rd in the other Mercedes. Then combined YouTuber in 4th. Squid 15th to 5th. Igor 6th to 6th. Panda 14th to 7th. Shrimp in the Haas in 8th. T-Mac in 9th. Codders in 10th. Then Trin in 11th. Enzo in 12th. Stars in 13th. Neon 14th. Angel 15th. Remco Van Buren rounds out the finishes. His teammate BTR caused that late safety car, caused that late drama, 17th after the retirement. And Yukio and Matt, the other 2 drivers, unfortunately unable to finish this race. But what a race it was. And, well, that was very, very dramatic, especially the end there. That was...
Yeah, if you look at Trin there, he was in a great position to score points, and I think another example of expecting the car, or either expecting the car that he's overtaking to back out of the exit of turn 14 and through 15, or he just went in too deep and expected too much of his car, and expected too much of his competitor on the outside line. It's really unfortunate for him, but you know, it was a great race all around. Provided some good entertainment.
Indeed, we've definitely got Ben and Mikau lined up for interviews. I don't know if we're going to get Eccentric, given the fact that he is a reserve. Don't know whether he's going to hop into that interview room and look for, you know, we'll get the chance to speak to him. But we definitely will have Ben and Mikau. We might have to switch straight to them here to make sure that we get an interview in. So we'll drag Mikau, and Seb, I'll let you take this one away.
G'day, Mika. How you going?
I'm doing okay. It was a crazy race. But no, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I just saw kind of feel for you at this moment, because you know you had a chance to maybe take that win, but then you got that penalty and that safety car came out, courtesy of Peter's crash. Just walk us through what you're thinking at the moment right now.
Look, realistically, I mean, Ben's Ben. He's one of the fastest drivers that we have here in MRL. He smashed the track record in qualifying. So kind of went into this one not expecting to race him like as close as I did. The race pace was very good, and to be first of the medium runners in qualifying was really good. But what was more concerning when the safety car came out was if I was going to lose second place, because even without the safety car, like, Ben was probably going to catch me and overtake me in the dying laps of the race. just because of the difference between hards and mediums. But when the safety car came out, it's like, oh, if I didn't get that penalty, which was quite harsh, but turn 16 is always quite harsh on the track limits around here, so I'll cop it on the chin. But I'm just happy that I was still able to pull the 3 seconds back to eccentric and get the second place finish once again.
Yeah, turn 16, a hot spot that we mentioned for penalties. Just Zandvoort next week. What are your thoughts on the track? You looking forward to it?
Zandvoort's quite an interesting track. It's one where qualifying is quite important, as well as managing the tire temperatures during the first stint. Of course, Ben's going to be super, super quick, as he is basically at every single track. But we'll keep working hard at AlphaTauri. We'll try and keep the podium streak going, and hopefully get the runners-up spot, or maybe a win if the circumstances are just right. So anything can happen at Zandvoort next week.
All right, well, thanks for that, Mikhail, and congratulations on P2.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Well, let's hop to our race winner, Mr. Ben the Bear. 2 weeks in a row. Ben, how does that one feel?
He was good, really good. But it was a bit sad at the end, actually, to be honest, after, Mick got the penalty, I think. Because I would have not caught him at first, because he was just, pulling away with the hards. I think his race pace was pretty good on the hards.
Yeah, well, that was my next question. Those mediums you came out of the pit lane. It's 10 seconds with 10 laps to go, and the first couple of laps you did sort of catch him by 1 second, but it was going to be close, I think, based upon what we were looking at. And well, you just answered it there that you didn't think you would catch him, but that safety car came out. We all saw you hop into the pit lane. Even if Mick didn't have that penalty, do you think you could have pushed and got the position, or do you think that you just?
I wouldn't. I think I wouldn't really, because he was running a much lower downforce setup, so it would have been quite tricky to overtake him. So I think I just had to sit there and stay behind him. If he didn't get a penalty, I think I would have finished second place. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, 4 races now. You've got 2 wins under your belt. Obviously, the first couple of races of the season didn't go your way, but now that things are going your way, are you feeling a bit more confident in the championship? You're catching back up. I think this puts you P2 behind Mikhail, and obviously you've taken that gap down. You've shortened the gap. Do you think you can grab Mikhail, and how are you feeling just as the championship as a whole now?
It's not like I think I could do it. It's just a matter of if it's possible, because if I mess up in a race, or throughout the races, because I'm still quite far behind Mick in the pecking order with the points at the beginning. I believe that that I should be more consistent, probably just to keep up with him, because Mick's a consistent driver, really consistent. He's been getting podium finishes already for the first 4 races, so I think it would be the same probably throughout the whole season. So I think I have to really up my game just to get into it mentally. So that's probably my target.
Yeah, well, one last question. Zandvoort next week, a much different track to China. What are your thoughts going into it? Qualifying pretty important around there. What's your pace like? Is it one of your favourite tracks, one of your least favourite tracks? Where do you stand on it?
I would say, let's say the fast laps are fun around there, but racing there, it's a bit more difficult than putting in a fast lap. I think managing the tires, the temperatures will skyrocket at the beginning of the first stint if qualifying on the softs. So I believe that you should probably take care in the first part of the race. If you don't, probably would be a bit of bad luck. Anything could happen.
Yeah, well, big congratulations for the win, and well, I'm sure we'll see you here in the commentary booth in the near future. So congratulations, and we'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.
All right, now Eccentric has hopped into the interview waiting room, so we'll get a quick interview with the 3rd place finisher. Eccentric reserving today. You pick up a podium. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a good race. I mean, I was pretty disappointed with my medium lap. I felt I had 2-3 tenths, but when I saw I was starting P11, I was kind of happy because I could go on the hards. And lap 1, it was just stay out of incidents and make sure I'm at least the highest hard runner, and it worked out in the end.
Yeah, well, we saw at the end there you had, Mika had a 3-second time penalty. Do you think after that safety car came out, there was any opportunity for you to catch him at all?
Yeah, I made it was a horrible last lap for me. Like I lost it at two places. If I had not made those two mistakes, I think I might have been within 3 seconds. But yeah, it is what it is.
Well, 11th to 3rd, still a very, very strong drive. Obviously, only a reserve here, but you take 3 points out. Judging on that race, if you were to reserve again, do you think you could score another podium, or where do you think you'd stack up in this grid if you were able to race again here?
Yeah, maybe in the top five, probably. I mean, I'll take the odd podium here and there. I think I'm in the top five, top seven.
Well, awesome race for you. Appreciate you taking the time out to interview you. And, well, if we see you in another race, under the reserve role, then I look forward to seeing you race again. Thank you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Alright, so that wraps up all of the interviews. Seb, any closing remarks after that race there?
It was a fun race. I enjoyed it. Looking forward to Zandvoort. It's actually the first time I've never raced there. I've never actually commentated this. This is going to be the first time for me. I'm keen to see how the race unfolds. I'm very excited for Zandvoort because it's a new track, but it's the game's been out about 9 months now, but it's my first time really truly experiencing a league race at it. So I'm very keen for it.
Yeah, very interesting track. One where rain can really play a big role upon it. So it'll be interesting to see whether we've got that. I don't think we've had it here in APAC yet in the 4 races. The first month now of racing here already in APAC. But that is it from us after a very dramatic China race. Formula 2 this evening for those of us in Europe. That's 8 p.m. GMT or 3 p.m. EST for those over in the US. But that's it. Make sure to join the Discord if you want to get in on league racing action and just an awesome group of people to play F1 with, chat about F1, all of that good stuff, as well as check out our partner Next Level Racing over on their website, !NLR in the chat if you want to go and check out their awesome sim racing products. But that's all from us. We'll be back later on with F2, and then Zandvoort action kicks off on Tuesday, same time as Formula 2, 8 p.m. GMT, 3 p.m. EST for Tier 3, but that is it from us. We'll go and hit the outro and then head on over and raid someone in the sim racing community. So thank you very much for watching, following, all the support, and we'll catch you in the next one.